See, it's asking for, you can see here is okay. It is asking for the input as your name. So I am entering Kaustubh. Okay, here is your output, right? Hello, Kaustubh. Fine. So this is basic input output in Python. Anybody have any questions? You can put it in QA. Please let me know, guys, if you have any questions. Okay. Sir, problem in code running in VS Code. Sir, I am using VS Code directly. Is it okay? No, actually, guys, VS Code is just a text editor like your Notepad. It's not your compiler or interpreter. You need to install Python first to run any Python code. So start the Django part. Actually, the reason I am starting from the Python because if anybody want to code in Django, they must know the Python, right? So that's why I'm just covering the basics of Python very fastly, and then I will directly jump on the Django part. No issues. And I will also share my, we can say, biggest Django project which I have ever made, and with all the strategies or things I have used in that project. Then I can use Kaggle or Colab. Yeah, you can use for Python part. Conduct a poll regarding this. Sir, I'm using Spider directly. Is it okay? Sir, how long is the session going to be? Session going to be minimum 2 hours and maximum 3 hours. We can discuss more in Django, guys. Okay, guys, you would able to run code after installing Python. During installation of Python, if you're using Windows, you need to check the add path checkbox during the installation, which will add your Python directory path in your environmental variables. Otherwise, you will not able to access that Python command. Uh, okay. Wait, guys, we will just take a poll for starting Django. Okay, why should we use Django instead of popular Node.js? So basically, the first thing is the learning curve. If you want to learn Django, you can easily understand Django in 1 week. That you can make complete backend project using it. And second reason I use Django because of security. Django have many security functionalities inbuilt, but in case of Node.js, you have to implement it using your own logic and code. Okay, okay, wait. Okay, let's start, guys, without wasting time. Fine. So basic input output is done. Then after that, data types, right? Okay. So unlike other programming languages, Python have ability to detect which type of uh, data we are giving, which type of data we are saving in the variable. For example, if you did name equals to, let's say, something like hello, right? So now you can see now Python can detect that, yeah, it's a string. It's not integer, it's not a character, it's a string. But what if you did let's say v1 equals to single quote inside the single quote c, so Python will detect, yeah, it's a character. If you did v2 equals to 1, then Python will detect that, yeah, it's an integer. Okay. So these are the basic data types, which is int, character, float, and string. Okay. Then talking about arithmetic operations, uh, let's just code a simple addition program. So I will create the first variable num1 equals to. Now here I will do typecasting, which I have said earlier, right? So which the input which is coming from the input function, example, int first number, right? Okay, so now this function by defaultly return the value as string. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are just converting the string value into integer value because we want to store our number as an integer. Okay, I will just copy the same line again here and paste num2, and I will say enter second number. Fine. To print a result, we can directly use a print function, and I will say result or term is followed by. You can also use the comma for printing the value after the string instead of plus sign. Okay, so I will say sum is comma num1 plus num2. Okay, now let's try to run this code again. Sorry guys for the background noise I have, but simply hello.py. Just enter a first number 5 and second number 6, and yeah, here we are getting sum is 11. It is same for the other arithmetic operations also, like you can subtract, you can divide, you can take a remainder. Basic arithmetic operators are done. Then about logical operators, uh, I guess guys, if you are learning web development in Django, you must know the basic arithmetic and logical operators. But still I will just cover for introductory part. Okay. For example, I have one input age equals to 18. Uh, I want to write a simple code using Python to to check if the age is greater than 18 or and less than 100. Okay, so what I can do, I will do if age, my condition that age must be greater than 18, greater than equals to 18, and okay, and age should be less than equals to 100. And after that there is a colon. If this condition gets true, we will print we will print any string. Let's say we'll just print success, and else we will print failure. Fine. Let's clear the terminal and try to run the code again. Okay, so success, right? If what if I just change this 18 to 17? You can see we are getting the failure output. So basically what this and do, we have two conditions. First is age is greater than equals to 18, and second is age is less than equals to 100. So what and operator do, it checks for if the both conditions are true. If one of the condition between these two condition get false, then the complete output will be executed from this else block instead of this if block. Fine. Okay. So what if you have multiple conditions, right? So we can use elif in that case. Let's say I want to check if anybody is entering age 0. So elif age is exact equals to 0. In that case, I will print invalid. Fine. For sake of purpose, I will change this age to 0. Now you can see we are getting invalid output. Okay. Do I need to install extensions to extension in VS Code to run Python? No, the extensions are only for giving you syntax highlighting and other recommendations. I mean code snippets. Okay. Okay. So more than okay. So we will start directly on. I will start Django after this data structures list and dictionary. Just I want to give a brief introduction about it. So Python have basic data structures by default data structures, which is list and dictionary. So basically, list is like an array, but the array has a property of having same data type elements. But in case of the list, it's different than array. It can have values of multiple data types. So let's create a simple list called L1 equals to, and we can create a list using just square braces. So I'm adding some numbers in the list. Okay. To print a list, we can easily just print L1, which will print the list. If you want to print a specific element from the list, you can use again a square braces and you can then give index of the element you want to print. Like for example, in array, index start from 0, right? So you can uh, use index 0 to print this one element. Okay, if you want to print this 2, then you can use index 1. Fine. What if you want to add some other elements in the list L1? In that case, you can use list functions called append followed by the value you want to add. Same for to remove any element, you can use remove function followed by the value you want to remove from the list. Okay. Fine. Then another last one data type is, I mean, data structure is dictionary. So dictionary have data uh, in the form of key values, key value pairs. I mean, so let's consider dictionary D1 equals to, for example, key is name. Okay, one minute. Let me check the way. Voice is not clear. Tuple, yeah, tuple is also there. Set is also there. Sir, which one is fast execution, array or list? Actually, I don't know. I don't have any idea about it. But usually we use list in Django instead of array because we want to store multiple types of data in a list. And don't worry about execution speed. Django is a pretty well optimized framework. When you will run Django in production, it will run as fast as possible. Okay, so I can we can start directly from the Django, guys. I guess it's enough Python for today. Okay. ओके सो Django क्या है Django Python पैकेज है राइट सो तुम्हें वो इंस्टॉल करना पड़ेगा which we can install using command pip. Again, I am using pip3 as I am in Linux. You can use pip command followed by the uh, install and the package name, which is Django, right? So after running this command, the package Django will be installed in your system. I have already installed the Django, so I will directly execute the command. Just delete this file, guys. To create any new project in Django, the command is very simple. we will run Django admin, then start project and project name. So let's say I'm giving project name as uh, my notes. Okay. Now you can see after executing this command, the project structured as appeared here, having the folder called my notes and some predefined files like settings and URLs and all. Okay. Uh, so basically, this is our main project. Inside our main project, there will be one single there will be multiple modules, right? So if you want to create a module for each purpose, for example, um, ओके लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल कि मेरा एक प्रोजेक्ट है जिसमें बहुत सारे मॉड्यूल्स हैं लाइक मुझे ऑथेंटिकेशन भी करना है मुझे कोई व्हाट वी कैन से कोई अलग सर्विस भी मुझे रन करनी है तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं कि एक बड़े प्रोजेक्ट को छोटे-छोटे पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर रहे हैं राइट सो दैट्स व्हाई वी नीड टू क्रिएट अ सेपरेट एप्लीकेशन इनसाइड आवर मेन प्रोजेक्ट ओके so, after this executing this command, what we will do, we will just open that project folder inside our VS Code. Okay, fine. After creating project, we will run again same command Django admin, but instead of start project, we will do start app and the app name. I'm giving uh, my app as app name. Okay, fine. Now you can see this my app folder is up has appeared here. Okay. So after this, I will explain that what are the URLs, what are the views. So basically, once a minute. Okay. So you can see here is a simple URL having slash downloads as what we can say. ओके तो यहाँ पे सिंपल यूआरएल है जिसमें ये तो मेन डोमेन हो गया अपना एंड इसके बाद स्लैश डाउनलोड्स है तो बेसिकली क्या होगा जांगो में कि जब जब हम यूआरएल क्रिएट करेंगे ना तो उससे स्पेसिफाइड वी विल एग्जीक्यूट वन सिंगल पाइथन फंक्शन कि ये यूआरएल विजिट करने के बाद बैकएंड में हमारा वो वाला जो फंक्शन है एसोसिएटेड वो एग्जीक्यूट होगा राइट दिस इज हाउ द कंप्लीट थिंग्स वर्क सो हमने क्रिएट किया माय ऐप एंड माय नोट्स व्हिच इज आवर मेन प्रोजेक्ट अभी जब हम कोई ऐप क्रिएट करते हैं जांगो में वी नीड टू ऐड द ऐप in this installed apps list okay so my app is my app name so after this comma I will enter here and I will just add my underscore app okay and after adding the my app here I need to create a URL section also. So I will just create a new file urls.py in my app section and I will just copy from the my notes. I will just copy this URL stuff here. Okay, ignore this and this. Fine. Okay. Inside our map views, we will write a code which will get executed after visiting that specified URL. Fine. So you already know how to create simple functions in Python, which we can do using the def keyword. So I will just do def hello. Initially, we are just creating a simple hello world application. So def hello followed by the request. It's a syntax, guys. If you want to serve a particular function, or sorry, if you want to trigger a particular function after visiting the URL, you need to pass a request parameter here. Just want to create a normal function, just remove the request parameter and it is fine. So def hello and just testing purpose, I will import HTTP response function from this Django shortcuts, and I will just return HTTP response and a string. So let's say hello, comma world. Basically, what this HTTP response function do, we can pass our HTML through this function, through HTTP response function, but it's not possible to copy paste complete HTML file inside this function. That's why we use this render function, which is already imported here. But for just testing purpose, we are using this h1 tag, sorry, HTTP response function. So h1, let's close the HTML tag. So now we created a function. Uh, Now we need to create a URL. So we are in the same directory, my app. We created a view. Now we will create a URL associated with that view. For that purpose, we will use the path function followed by your path. Uh, so okay, I'm not specifying any particular path here, so I'm leaving it empty. After that, we need to import this views file here to call the function which we have created. So from dot means my current directory, which is my app, import views. So what I did here, I just imported my views file from the current directory. Directory means folder. Okay. Now we will call the function hello from our views, and this last parameter name is optional. I will also uh, specify you the use of this name later on. Just okay. So what we did again, we just created a simple hello function. Then we have added a simple URL in urls.py. Fine. Now this is about our application part, right? My app part. But we need to import complete my application, this my app, in our main projects, which is my notes. Okay. So we will go in the URL section, urls.py, and we will import one function called include. Now what we are doing, we are just including all URLs in our main application, main project. Okay. So again path, and again I don't want to specify any particular path, so I'm leaving it empty. It will by default take the root path. Okay. After that, I will use include function followed by our app name, which is my underscore app dot URLs, because we need to import my app urls.py in urls.py of my notes. Okay. आई होप गाइज यहाँ तक आपको सब क्लियर होगा जो भी मैंने किया है. एक काम करते हैं, लेट्स टेक क्विक क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट. Can you repeat again, bro? You are teaching, not a learning self. I am not understanding. Sir, can you tell Django from introduction again? Okay, so basically Django is a web framework in which you code websites using Python. Bro, you are teaching not okay. Repeat, can you repeat? Which part? I mean, which part you want to repeat? To share attendance. मैं म्यूजिक प्लेयर बना रही हूँ तो PIL मॉड्यूल नॉट फाउंड आ रहा है. ओके, सो PIL मॉड्यूल नॉट फाउंड आ रहा है तो तुमको इंस्टॉल करना पड़ेगा पैकेज कॉल्ड पिलो, PILLOW. उसके बाद आपका इशू सॉल्व हो जाएगा. एंड मेक श्योर कि जब भी आप जांगो प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हो ना, तो आप एक वर्चुअल एनवायरनमेंट मेंटेन करो, जिससे आपकी जो लाइब्रेरीज के वर्जन्स वगैरह है ना, वो प्रॉपरली सेव रहेंगे। इंस्टेड ऑफ, अगर आपने फॉर एग्जांपल प्रोजेक्ट बना लिया, बहुत मेहनत करके प्रोजेक्ट बना लिया, आपने उसको गिटहब पे सेव किया, बट अगर आप फ्यू टाइम के बाद उसको फिर से रन करने जाओगे, एंड इफ यू हैव नॉट मेंटेन्ड योर वर्चुअल एनवायरनमेंट, तो उस केस में आपको फिर से डिपेंडेंसीज एंड अदर स्टफ रिजॉल्व करके फिर से कोड ये करना पड़ेगा, मॉडिफाई करना पड़ेगा। व्हाई इट्स नॉट प्लेइंग? सर कैन वी डायरेक्टली सर कैन वी गो डायरेक्टली ऑन अ प्रोजेक्ट, देन यू कैन टीच विथ दैट? या एक्चुअली आई एम टीचिंग प्रोजेक्ट, आई मीन मैं प्रोजेक्ट ही बता रहा हूँ। दैट्स व्हाई वी क्रिएटेड माय नोट्स हियर. So firstly, we are just running a basic Hello World application. Then we will add our database and other stuff. So don't worry. किलो डाउनलोड करने के बाद भी मॉड्यूल नॉट फाउंड आ रहा है, तो पाथ के इश्यूज है। पाथ के इश्यूज को कैसे सॉल्व करें? प्लीज गो विथ इंग्लिश, इट्स बेटर फॉर अस। या ओके फाइन, नो इश्यूज। पाथ के इश्यूज कैसे सॉल्व कर? ओके, पाथ के इश्यूज सॉल्व करने के लिए थोड़ा 1-to-1 सेशन लेना पड़ेगा कहीं। ठीक है, लेट्स कंटिन्यू। आई होप you understood what we did here, like including complete URLs of my app and uh, creating views and other stuff. Okay, please let me know if the code is visible. Repeat from the terminal project. Why virtual environment is used? From project building. Please repeat one slow explaining each point. Okay, okay, fine. No issues. Just deleting this complete folder. Okay, okay. Now we are directly starting from our project. Okay. So repeat, create virtual environment, the make project. Okay, fine. Okay, so create, we will create our new project here. So what we will do again, sorry, Django admin, start project and project name. So as I already told you about, guys, that we are making a simple notes manager. That's why we are giving a project name as my notes. Okay, fine. Now you can see our basic project is created here. Now we will use code command. We will use code command, which is for VS Code, to open the specified folder in VS Code. So my notes. If you are not using VS Code, you can manually go and open the folder which we have created using the command in your specified editor which we are using. Okay? I hope up to now it's clear. वॉइस ब्रेकेज, थैंक्स, लेट्स गो। क्योंकि सर सबको बेसिक से पता नहीं है। या नो इश्यूज गाइस, इट जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ टाइम लिमिट वी हैव, अदरवाइज नो इश्यूज। वॉइस ब्रेकेज, ऑडियो इज नॉट क्लियर। आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि पाथ का इशू है पिलो में? सॉरी, अभी मैं फिलहाल पिलो वाला सीन नहीं सॉल्व कर सकता। ऑडियो इज नॉट क्लियर, ओके। जस्ट confirm once guys if audio is clear or not. It might be the network issue. Audio is not clear. Clear. Okay. Some, okay, fine. Not clear, clear. Okay. Okay. So, if you have any personal questions, you can connect me via LinkedIn. I will definitely reply you and resolve your issue. I'm not able to hear you. Cut off sometimes due to network drops. Okay. So guys, if sometimes just voice cut off because of my network issue, you can still watch my screen what I am doing. So I guess there is no issue. Fine. So we are here in our my apps, sorry, my notes project, right? Now, after creating this my notes, which is our main project, we will create the application inside it because if you want to connect a database, if you want to create a model, means table in Django, basically, you need to create an application first. Okay, so for that reason, uh, we will again run a command Django, Django admin, then start app and app name, giving the app name is my app. I mean, as my app. And after after creating a new application, you need to go in settings.py file, and after scrolling, you need to add it here. So my underscore app. And so any someone said in the chat to create a virtual environment. So again, it's a very simple process. You need to run a command Python. I am using 3 for Linux -yum followed by venv. Uh, you also need to install venv package, means virtual environment package, in Python first. So again, you can run pip3 or pip install venv. Let me check, guys, if the package name is correct for the virtual environment. Okay, venv. Fine. So you need to install virtual environment means venv package. Then you can run the following command. So python 3 -yum venv, or you can directly also use venv command, then followed by the virtual environment name you want to create. So in this case, I am creating the virtual environment called pyenv. Okay, so you can see here is our pyenv, what we can say, virtual environment. Now to activate the virtual environment, if you are using Windows, you need to run this activate.ps1 file, and if you are using Linux, you can source this activate file from here. Okay, so what I will do, I will run source followed by the path of that file, so pyenv bin and activate. Fine. Now you can see here is pyenv, right? So we are in Python virtual environment. Okay, this is cut off. Okay, सर पाइथन में कौन कौन से लाइब्रेरी यूज करते हैं? सर गिव अस लिंक्डइन आईडी. ओके, ये मेरी लिंक्डइन आईडी है. Fine. So we have created a Python virtual environment, right? Um, After that, we will go in my application and we will create one simple urls.py to manage your URLs. And we will copy paste some basic stuff from our main project. Okay, just remove this admin thing. Now, in my app, we have URLs which currently don't have any URL. Then we have views. Okay, So instead of creating some sample function, we will directly jump on our main project. Uh, After doing this, we need to connect our templates folder in which we will save our HTML files, and we need to connect our static folder in which we will save CSS, CSS, JS, and other static files. So for that purpose, first we will just create a folder called templates, okay, and then we will create a folder called static. Now to connect the HTML to specify the templates directory, what we will do again, we will go in our main project settings.py, and in the template section we need to give the directory for our templates, means we need to specify the path. Okay, once minute. Okay, so how we can do this, we will give base dir, means it will get the current directory. I mean, we are in my nodes, right? So base dir will return our current directory, then followed by our folder name for templates. You can have multiple template folders, guys, but for this simple demo project, I'm using single one. Okay, so this is how we connected our templates. Okay, via settings. Then for to connect the static files, you have to come down here during near the static URL, and we'll type static files underscore dir, files dirs, followed by the equals to and square braces, because again we can have multiple static folders. That's why we are creating a list here. Again base dir slash folder name static. Now what we did, we have connected static folder and templates folder. Okay, fine. Now let's create a simple HTML page. I'm naming it as index.html. You can use this exclamation and press enter to load a basic HTML boilerplate. We will name our project as my notes. Fine. And for the sake of purpose, I am just printing again hello world. I just want to know that my complete project is working, so we can proceed further. So this is template. Then we will go in our static folder and create a folder for CSS. Inside CSS folder, we will create uh, let's say style.css file. Okay. Now to connect this static folder, I mean to connect this style.css with this HTML page, we need to load the static first. Okay. So on every HTML page, if you want to link something which is from static, you need to follow this syntax. In head, inside the curly braces and this syntax having percentage symbol, you need to add a load static, and after that you need to link CSS or any static file. Here we cannot provide direct path to this href. Instead, what we do again, curly brace, this percentage symbols, static, and in single quote we will now give the relative path. Okay, means from this static folder. So what I will do, slash css slash style css. Okay. Now this CSS file, static style.css file is connected with our this HTML page. Okay. Now we just created HTML page. We connected the static file. Now in my notes, I mean, sorry, in my app section in views, we will just create a simple view. Let's say just name it as index, and we can give any name followed by the request parameter because we are linking this function with our URLs. Now to render HTML page, we will use render function, means to load our HTML page. Again, you have to specify, you have to pass the request parameter and followed by the relative path, means from this template directory. We have already connected both things. So we can direct specify index.html here. We have created a view. Now we need to create a URL. So we will again use a path function followed by this empty double quotes, empty quotes. So it can use a root directory to execute this function. Now again we will import from dot import views. Okay, so we have imported the views from our my app section which we have recently created. So views dot index function. Okay, followed by the name. Fine. Now we have created view, we have linked the URL. Now what we have to do? We have to import all the URLs in this our main project. Again, you need to import one function called include. Okay. After that, path. Again, I am using root directory. Don't worry, guys. I will tell you what is the use of this. I mean, how to give a specific path instead of this empty quotes. Then include round braces followed by the URLs. I mean, my app dot URLs. Okay. So what we did here, we completely included all the URLs from our my app section, my app application to this my notes, which is our main project. Okay. Okay. I will share my LinkedIn. No issues. Let's focus on the project first. Okay. So we have done all the part. Let me check if I had added the application in. Okay. So we have also added application. Fine. Now to run this application, we will run simple command Python 3, then followed by manage.py file, and then followed by the command which is run server. So what we have here, import Django. Okay, so we have created a virtual environment, but we didn't install the Django in our virtual environment. So, so we can do pip3 install Django. Let Django get installed. Up to now, I will run the project without the virtual environment. So I can do Python 3 manage.py run server. Okay. Now you can see here's our link. After clicking on this, okay, my app.views index didn't return HTTP response. Let me check where is the error. Okay. Okay, so I just forgot to add a return here. Fine. Now let's reload. Okay, so you can see hello world output is showing here. And to check if static files are really connected or not, I will just add a simple CSS rule for H1 to make the color red, right? Now let's try to refresh. Okay, H1, let me check. Slash CSS style.css. Let me check the load static syntax once. I guess it's fine. Okay. So what Django do? Django sometimes just cache the static content. So to force reload or force refresh the page, you can press Control and F5. Okay, fine. So okay, so both CSS and HTML, both HTML and CSS, yeah, folders are linked to our main project. Now we can work on our database part. Before that, we need to create a simple template, a simple HTML file for adding simple notes and deleting it. So let's get started. So index.html. First, let me check for the start one. Sir, why are you use CSS in this project? Just to styling or HTML structure when we finish. And guys, it is not a crime to take a reference from someone else project for building our one, building for your. So don't get ashamed of that. Okay, I guess up to now we are clear. Uh, for the UI part, I am creating another file here, creating another folder here, so I can use the live server extension, VS Code extension, to make the UI faster. Just making test folder, opening it. Don't get confused, guys. If you have any problem, please feel free to ask. Now let's open this folder in VS Code. Okay, so let's create the UI. After creating UI, I will just paste this HTML and CSS code in our main project. So let's do my notes. Then we need one input box or text area for adding notes. So let's create a basic form. Okay, we need one input of text type. We will give name. Name is parameter which we use in like backend part to take the value from the HTML form. Okay, I will show you. Don't worry. We will name it as a title. Okay, we will add another input is again text input. We will give name as description. Okay, just use a br tag. Uh, let's not focus on the CSS part and button, which is type submit. Say save. Also add some placeholder, which is title, placeholder title. Sorry, description. I mean, okay, fine. So here is our basic form. Let's copy and paste the code in our main project. Just mm, okay, fine. Instead of this hello world, we will paste our HTML code. Now we can see a simple UI is ready. Now for form action, you need to specify the URL which you want to invoke after submitting the form. After this, clicking the save button or any button having the type submit. So now where is it? Okay, just close. We will just close the unwanted files. Uh, okay. So in views, let's rename our index function to add note. Okay, and in URLs, let's rename it to add underscore note. Fine. Okay. Now what we will check if we are getting the post method on our backend side, means on our this view side, we will perform operations on that. So if request dot method is exact equals to post, then in that case we will perform any operations, any following operation. So for testing, I'm just saving the values directly coming from the form itself to Python variables. So title, then to get the value again request dot can do like request dot post dot, there is I guess get function, but you can also do this. Let me check once if I'm right. Yeah, okay. We can use both methods. Fine. You can also do this, or you can also use a get method. I don't know why my uh, what we can say Python extension is not working. Okay, fine. So to get a value from the form, you can use request dot method which you are using in form followed by the get function and followed by the name. So we are taking title. Um, Here is the name, right? So we are taking title from here. So after that, we need a description. So again, request dot post dot get. Uh, After that, description. Okay. Yeah. Here we gave the name as description. So that's why here we have to specify the name for that particular field. Okay. Now after receiving this data, let's just print to test if we uh, look guys, testing things is necessary. We cannot just code without running. I mean, we just can't code without running the project once. So just print title, title and description. Fine. Let's try. Here are our notes. Just refresh once. Control F5. Uh, Say my note description. This is sample description. Uh, One also thing we can do, if we got data, we will return, just import HTTP response and we will return uh, HTTP response as success data received, whatever the spelling is. Let's try to refresh once again. Uh, my note, this is sample description and save. Okay, and let's forward to say one more thing. Whenever you are working with forms in Django, you need to add one simple CSRF token here. CSRF stands for cross-site request forgery, which is can say uh, from cybersecurity perspective, it's a vulnerability or attack. We need to add a CSRF token. So for each form, the user, a client get a separate CSRF, unique CSRF token to validate. Now let's try to refresh. Let's try to resend it. Uh, and make sure you have this CSRF token inside your form. Okay, inside your form tag. Let's rerun the pro. I guess our Django is successfully installed in virtual environment. Now we can run server here. Okay. Let's refresh it. Fine. So title, this is sample description and save. Okay, you can see success data received. Now, if we check our terminal here, you can see title and okay, what we got. Let me check the views. Title variable title. Okay, fine. So we got the title and this is sample description. Fine. Now we currently only got a data, but we didn't saved it. Okay. To save data, we need a database. In Django, there is a default database of SQLite 3. If you want to use any other database like MySQL and all, you can just change the configuration in the databases section. You just need to paste configuration for MySQL and the same operation will be performed automatically in MySQL database instead of this SQLite database. Let me check uh, the comments. ऑडियो कट ऑफ लैग हो रहा है, प्लीज कंसिडर लिटिल नेटवर्क इशू. ओके. सो डू यू गाइस हैव एनी इश्यूज अप टू नाउ? मीन्स अभी तक मैंने जो भी शो किया है उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम है? नो सर. ओके ओके. ओके फाइन, लेट्स गो. Okay, fine. So we got the data at our backend from the form. Now, what I want to recommend you guys, whenever you are dealing with form, if we didn't specify the URL in actions, it still work. But make sure your project will not get what we can say break. You need to use the URL tag here and just give your URL, which is add node. Now, this add node is your name of the URL, this name. Okay, this I will just change to add node. Fine. Whatever the name you are giving to the path, okay, this add node, this name you have to specify in the this index.html or any HTML file where you are dealing with form or you want to use that particular path. Okay, so again, let's revise the syntax. Curly brace percentage URL, which is a keyword, inside a single quote or double, sorry, inside a single quote, the name for your path. Okay. So let me check once again. Just refresh the page, add some A and B sample data and save. Data received, and we got the data at our server side. Fine. Now uh, we have to create a database, or we have to create a table for storing this all data. So for that purpose, first we need to create a model. There is a file called model.py, models.py in your app section here, okay, which is empty. Now you have to specify your table structure here, okay. And currently, I'm taking reference of my own project because I don't remember the syntax because my main domain is cybersecurity. I just do the development as my hobby. And okay, where is my project? Fine. And don't worry, guys, this project is also made by me itself, so I know Django well. Okay, fine. First, you need to once a minute. We'll just copy this for a reference. Just ignore this part, guys. Focus on the function, sorry, class we are declaring here. So to create a table, you need to create a class first, okay? Followed by the table name. Let's say I want to create a table for saving my notes, right? So I will say, uh, let's name it as notes table, okay? Followed by the syntax models dot model, okay? Now this is your column name of particular table. Now we are saving notes. We have mainly two parameters. First is title and second one is description, right? But every table have one primary key, a unique key which can be a primary key is a unique key, so you can identify a single record using that key. Okay, so for this project, I will just create a column called NID, which is notes ID, then equals to models dot. Now After models dot, you have to specify which type of data you are going to save there. So you can see in the example, if I want to save characters, I am using the function called char field. If I want to save integers, I am going to use this integer field function. Okay. For this, I am using integer field, and I will specify primary key equals to true. And guys, remember the primary key will be unique. It cannot be repeated in the table. Okay. So nodes ID is done. Then we will create a column called title. Again, models dot models dot then char field for storing strings. You can specify max length for your title. So I am currently uh, limiting it up to 50 characters. Okay, fine. After that, description DSC equals to again models dot char field followed by the max length. If you want to specify max length, you can. Otherwise, I guess there is no limit for that. But still, for sake of purpose, just add max length to 100 characters. Let's say 200 characters. You can also explore other fields from the Django documentation. Okay. And my one advice is to prevent any future errors, make sure you specify default field to none. Okay, make sure you specify the default field to none. Default. Okay. Uh, Let me tell you guys. There are other fields too, like date field, which we can use to save date. Then time field, float for saving floating point integers. Then the Boolean fields mean in which we will store the value in the form of true or false. Okay, which is indirectly one and zero and other stuff. Okay, so what we have done here again, one simple revision. We just created a table called notes table. Means we are just defining the model for it. Currently, table is not got created. Then we have specified three columns: NID, title, and description, followed by the some properties like character field, having max length and default properties. Okay, fine. If you have noticed here, we got an error. You have 18 unapplied migrations. Your project may not work properly. So basically, when you do any changes in the this models file, you need to migrate your database. You need to run make migrations command to apply those changes. Okay. So now to apply these migrations, you need to run a command Python 3 again manage.py and make migrations first. Okay, you can see migrations are made here, like um, our model nodes table is updated. After that, once you have done with the migrations, you need to migrate. This migrate command will now create a table for you in the this db.sqlite. If you want to see how this db.sqlite looks from inside, you can have a simple application called db browser inside your windows too. I guess currently I don't have one. uh, Let me install light light browser. Okay, up to now we will proceed. And if you are using mysql, okay, I will go on browser and I will show you the syntax to connect with your mysql database backend. So mysql Django database connection. Create some documentation. Okay. Now you can see here, if you want to if you want to connect a Postgres SQL, you need to copy this configuration and paste to your database, followed by the things you need to change, like host, user, database name, and port stuff. Mm, okay. You can refer this documentation, or you can directly search on Google. You will definitely get the syntax to connect with MySQL. Okay, here is the MySQL database. Fine. So you need to create a my.cnf file, and you need to specify database name, user, password, and this default character set. Okay. Currently, I don't have MySQL installed. That's why I'm using SQLite. Fine. Let's check if our database browser, okay, DB browser is installed. Fine. Now what I can do, just open the DB SQLite browser, create an open database, and let's open our db.sqlite. I don't know if you are able to see this tiny details. Actually, I'm not able to zoom this thing. Okay, so let's migrate first. After this migration, let's reload this. Let's reopen this. Okay, so you can see our table called this notes table is created here. Um, the thing is, the directory or the application you created a model, uh, it will get append. I mean, so basically what I want to say कि जिस भी एप्लीकेशन में आप मॉडल डिफाइन करोगे डिक्लेयर करोगे तो उसका नेम आपके टेबल नेम के आगे आ जाएगा जस्ट लाइक यहाँ पे माई ऐप नोट्स टेबल आ गया right? So my app was our application name and notes table was our this that class name, I mean table name. And we have this beautiful structure like NID, title, and description. Fine. Now let's try to save some data inside it. Let's go to our views. Fine. Now instead of print, okay, you also need to import the model which you have created. So again, from dot means from current folder, I want to import model. I want to import models. Let's see if our model is there called notes table. Okay, right. So I can do from dot models import star. So which it will import all the models which we have defined in this models file here. This model file. Okay. Now let's see notes table. Yeah, here is the notes table. Now to save data, you can do one simple thing. Notes table means just call your class and give the values as you give values to the constructor. So what I can do like title followed by the uh, okay. So title equals to the title variable. Okay. So let's understand the syntax. Here the title is the column name. Okay, and this title is the variable which we have created here to get the data from the form. Okay, then comma description and followed by the description variable. We will go over index.html file and we will just add one required field here. Both fields are now required to submit the form. Add. Cool. After that, you can just call the save function. What we did, we called the model notes table, then we passed the value as a constructor, and then we called the save function to save those values. Okay, now let's run the program again and let's check if it is really working or not. So uh, just run our Python server, refresh. Okay, so again, my note, then this is simple description, and let's try to save. Success data received. Now we can use DB browser to check that really check that data is received. So browse table, and now you can see our data is stored. One, which is our NID, which will get automatically incremented because it's a primary key. Then the note, I mean, then the title as my note and the description. Now, whenever you want to update or edit, update or delete a particular record, you can use this ENID, means this ID, right? I guess, guys, you know the basic SQL queries like to update or to delete a particular record, where we use a where clause to apply those changes. Okay, so let me just quickly check the chat first. No audio, no audio. Yes, voice is not clear. Okay, uh, I'm audible now properly. Just ignore my voice. Tell me the things I did up to now are clear or not. Yes, clear, guys. Please ask if you have any issue or any. Okay, clear. Okay, okay, fine. Now, instead of using this shitty HTTP response, we can use one JS library called Sweet Alerts to display that, yeah, your data is saved. So let's I will go to I will just Google it, Sweet Alert to. Okay, what's wrong with it? Go in installation and just go in installation section and copy the script tag. You can also download this particular JS file and statically link with your application, but you can also use these too. What I'm doing, uh, I'm just loading it here. Okay. And Sweet Alert, I guess these libraries depend upon the jQuery, so you need to have jQuery installed or linked to your this HTML file. Let's go to jQuery. Let's go to jQuery official website, and we will download the compressed version. Download. Okay, download compressed production. What we will do, we will just copy this, and inside our static folder, we will create another JS folder. Inside JS folder, just we will just create uh, jQuery.js. It is a minimized version of jQuery, means with removed spaces and endlines. That's why we are just renaming as min.js. The name doesn't matter, guys. It's just for showing that it's minimized. Okay. Now we will connect the jQuery first. So again, script tag. Now you need to again use our syntax to connect a static file. Static. Then again /js. We need to give relative path and a query dot mean dot mean dot js. Fine. Cool. Now to try, we need to copy one example alert like this. Let's see this basic one. Good job. Okay, we will just copy this alert and now here is the important part. We uh, we need to tell this HTML page that we have successfully saved the data. So in the view section after this index.html, we have to pass a data in a dictionary. So uh, what I can do, I will just pass the status, okay, colon, and okay, sorry, instead of passing status here, we will send here to return render again the request, comma, index.html, comma, status, and I am sending true. Means our data is successfully saved. Okay, now on the HTML part, what I can do, uh, also okay. So on HTML part, I will check in using this syntax if my status. Okay. So basically, what we are doing, we are sending this status variable, dictionary variable, from our views to the HTML page. Okay, and if there is status, means if it is true, you can also use, you can also write like this if the status is true. Okay, but it works also fine. If the status is true, in that case, end if. It's a syntax for executing if block in HTML uh, if you have Django as a backend. Okay, now I will paste that script inside the script tag like this. Okay, now let's say for the title, uh, I will say note created, note added, something like that. You have successfully added a note. Ignore this comment, guys. I'm just adding for a demonstration. Okay, now let's try if it really works. Just refresh. Okay, just refresh. Uh, let's add a note. Paste, paste the description and save. Okay, I guess there is something wrong with the. Okay, swell is not defined. Basically, this CDN is not working. So what I will do, I will just cut this script tags and I will load it here. Or just load it in the head. It's not mandated. It's not recommended to load script tags in the head section as it may took more time and your website will take longer time to load. But here you can use it. Fine. Just okay. Wait a second. The thing we can do and do this too. Okay. Okay. Now you can see. we finally got this pop-up called note added. You successfully added a note, something like that. Okay, and if you check our database and let's refresh it. Okay, as we have um, sent this request multiple times, we got three notes. Fine. Now, what I want to do, whenever we are loading this my notes section, I want to uh, also display the existing notes below this section. Okay, so in that case, we can use the same function, this add note, but instead of coding inside this post block, we will code here. So now to retrieve data from the notes table, what you can do, uh, you will create a variable called data followed by the notes table. Okay, dot uh, notes table. Let me check the syntax. Okay, objects, fine. So notes table dot objects dot get. Now here we have to specify field. Okay, now you have to specify field by which you want data. For example, you want data having ID 1, NID 1. So you can specify NID equals to 1 like that. But we want all data, right? Once a minute. Okay, we can use filter function actually. Okay, we can use this all. Fine. So instead of this get function, we will use all function. Now all the data is stored inside your data variable. Okay. So now if you want to access a particular okay, let's run the for loop. Let's add the for loop for, let's say, data. I mean for d in data. Now we did d dot nid. We will get id of our first record and followed by the others too, right? Okay. So what we will do now? We will not we will not add the for loop here, but instead we will just send this we will just send this data to the index.html file if the data is not none or null, we can say. So for that, I will just do here if data is not none, or you can also do like is not equals to none, and also just okay. So if data is not none, in that case, what I want to do, I want to return render again request followed by the HTML page. Okay, comma, and I will just like I have sent the status, I will send the data. So again data, or instead of saying data, let's say notes colon by data, or let's say notes. So I will just rename this to notes. Okay, fine. So now on the HTML end, you can run for loop to load all the nodes. Okay. So what you can do here, let's say below this form, I will again use my for syntax here. So I will say for d in data. Okay. Whenever you want to access something from the uh, what we can say view, which you have sent from the view to the HTML, you can use double curly braces to access that data. For example, if I want to access d dot that NID, I mean particular NID, what I can do, I can use double curly braces, then d dot the column name I want to access, because at the end data is in the form of dictionary. Okay, this function returns data in the form of dictionary. This objects.all function. Okay, fine. So what I will do, I will write syntax for the for. Okay, end for here. After that, let's create a simple structure. Let's create a div dot note, and inside note, let's create a label, or you can use span tag too. Here, what I will do, I will just write a title colon. Now, to load the data from that for loop, double curly braces, d dot, let's say title. Fine. Just copy these things again. Title, description, and I will just add multiple break tag here to separate our data. It's not a proper UI. The main purpose of the whole thing is to understand how you can work with databases in Django. Fine. So let's try if it works. Let's refresh it. Right. Sorry guys, just a mistake. We have changed our variable name from notes data to notes, right? So just let's refresh. Okay, so you can see the notes which we have previously saved are appeared here, like title and the description. Just forget about the UI. Totally trash. Add more break tags. Fine. Okay, so these are our simple notes. Uh, Now it's time to edit a space. Okay, let's check the chart first. Hello. Um, so the things I told up to now are clear or not? Any questions you are free to ask. I'm only the one in this webinar. Audio cut off. Yeah, screen has been stopped. All in. Sir, how much time take to complete the course? Actually, bus we will just edit our record and delete it. So we are managing all the CRUD operations, which is create. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Okay, let's proceed. It's clear, but can we get code to the code for the practice? Yeah, no issues. I will share the zip of this code which we are doing currently. Can I get notes after class? I'm not sure about the notes, but if you have any problem, you can follow me on the LinkedIn. Okay. So now we have retrieve all the notes we have saved. Let's try once again that if we added a new note, let's say it's new note, and for a description, again, new description. Fine. New description for my new note. Just click on save. Okay, now we got the bug because after saving this data, right, we are returning uh, this thing only, right? So so we are not returning any kind of nodes data here. So that's why we are getting the empty page. Okay. What we can do here. Okay. So what we can do here, uh, we can, okay, let's do one thing. Just remove this alert. Now let's try. Okay. Now it's getting added here. Fine. The solution is what we can do. We can add one more if here. That if notes is not none, in that case, okay. Actually, one thing. Once a minute, guys. We will just execute this notes thing here on the top, and after that, we will just pass another variable, another dictionary value, notes, load the recent notes. Fine. Okay, and we need to re-execute this thing here. Let's try. Let's refresh once. And something weird characters. Save. Notes added successfully. And yeah, here is our note. Okay. It might not be the optimized solution, but yeah, it's one of the way to render that. Okay, so it was about adding the node, but now we want to edit node and as well as delete node, right? So for that, we will just create another function def edit underscore node followed by the request, and I need a unique parameter called NID. So using that, I can edit a specific node. Okay. Now I will show how you can pass this NID via your URLs. Currently just return. Again, we will use the same, what we can say, we'll use our same index.html file. We are not creating another template for this. We will not return nodes, I guess. Okay, fine. In, okay. To minimize the confusion, I am removing this nodes thing from this function. I will add it later on. Okay. Now to edit a node, we need a take once minute. Okay, fine. Uh, okay. So here is our node block, right? Where we are adding nodes. With nodes, I mean, we need to add some buttons also. So let's say to edit, I'm adding instead of button, I am using anchor tag. Say edit. Now, it's a edit anchor tag, and then we will also create it for delete. Fine. Now, what we have to do here, we will add our URL or edit nodes. Let's do percentage. Okay. So edit note. Now we will just copy the same thing for delete note. Delete note. Fine. Okay. Then we will also add path here. We'll paste 2 times. Uh, let's see. Let's say edit hyphen note. Now we need a specific note ID to edit, right? So for that reason, we need to get note ID via URL. So to send the data by URL, you can add a simple $sign here, or you can use the syntax like this: str colon and the what we can say your variable uh, name. I mean the parameter you are passing. In case of your variable is string. Okay. And for other data types, you can use other data types too. But using dollar can also simplify the things. So let's copy this for both path, then delete. अगर जिसको नहीं समझ आया मैं क्या बोला यहाँ पे तो अ, हमें यूआरएल से डेटा लेना है। अगर मैंने किसी नोट पे क्लिक किया एडिट के बटन पे तो वो नोट का आईडी मुझे वो फंक्शन को पास करना है, ये वाले एडिट नोट या फिर डिलीट नोट को। सो आफ्टर दैट मुझे जैसे ही वो मिलेगा नोट आईडी देन आई कैन परफॉर्म द अदर एक्शंस जो एडिट हो गया या फिर द स्टफ। ओके। edit node, delete node. Again, it just call the function edit node, delete underscore node, delete delete node, delete node. Okay. You also need to create another function for deleting. Delete node. Fine. Now, the when whatever data I will pass by this URL, there is an error, I guess. Let me check. Delete node. Okay. Let's comment. Let me check if I did the right thing. URLs. We have a lot of URLs here. Yeah, okay. Okay, fine. To use that dollar, you need to use URL function instead of path function. And if you don't want to use that URL function, you can just use this like str colon eid thing. Fine. No issues. We will use URL function. We need to import it. Uh, Again, I don't know where to import. Let's see. Yeah, it's so from Django.urls, we are importing repath as a URL. Fine. So now instead of using this, we are using URL function. Then we need to follow this syntax. Okay. And same for this. I guess we still have error. What we are doing wrong, guys? Okay, got it. Basically, we just forgot to add commas here. Fine. Now it's fine. Okay. So let's check if we get that particular NID after clicking on the link. So I'm printing the NID here on edit note, and now in the HTML section here you have to pass the data, right? So I will pass my NID equals to loading data in n, single record in n. So I will say NID equals to n dot NID, not ID. And same for the other function also. Fine. Now again, let's go to my notes and reload it. Edit note keyword is not found. Okay, fine. Let's go to URL section, and instead of using URL, let's use path in NID. NID. Okay, fine. Let's remove this and add the comma. Now let's refresh it again. Okay, now you can see we got edit and delete button, I mean links here. And if you inspect, you can see each note have their unique IDs loaded here. Okay, make it look little bit better. I'm just adding a single break tag. Fine. Now it's look little bit good. Okay, so after clicking on this, let's check the terminal output first. We don't have any particular output here, right? So after clicking on this, let's say this test ID, you can see we got two. Means our passing value through URL is successfully working. We got this NID here. Okay, now to edit a particular record, what I will do, I will create a first I will just load the data. So I will do note equals to create sorry note table followed by the sorry notes table dot objects dot get means getting that particular means getting just single record. Get NID equals to, because NID is unique, right? So we got all the data related to particular note in this note variable. Okay. Now we will send this note variable via this render function. So I will just okay, but we also don't want to lose our existing records from that page. So I will again create a variable called notes, and I will just copy paste my this object function. I mean to load all the notes. Okay. Now don't get confused in these variables. Uh, these are our main nodes, means total all nodes, and followed by the node which I want to edit, right? Colon node. Uh, to minimize your confusion, I will just say edit node, edit underscore node, edit underscore node. Fine. Okay. So we are sending our nodes, total nodes, and the nodes data we want to edit. Now, what we will do, inside this, sorry, inside this form, we will specify the value. So value and value equals to, okay, value equals to double braces. We are sending note, right? So note dot title. Actually, instead of doing this, we are just adding more complications, right? So just copy this thing and paste and just change the name. Edit edit underscore note dot html. Fine. Now just change to edit note. Now we can specify value around double curly braces. Note dot title. Then here uh, again value double curly braces. Note dot title. Sorry, description. I mean, just change this required. Just change the position of this required to the end of this tag. So required. Okay. Now on the view section, we will use edit underscore node.html. Now let's try if it's really work. Okay, this is my node, right? And having description, this is simple description. Click on edit. We got error or what? Okay, for the form action. Fine. So here you also have to pass NID equals to um look guys, whenever you are doing something in this tag having like curly brace and percentage, you don't need to use double curly braces. Okay, but if you are out of that tag, you need to use double curly braces to use the value passed sent by the Django. I mean backend. So NID equals to note dot NID as I want to pass the NID to my edit node URL. Okay, now let's refresh. Just click on edit. Not found. What is reverse for edit note with keyword arguments? Not found. Um, what I did wrong? Key. Hmm. Let me check chat once. I can't understand. Screen is not visible. Please confirm once again if screen is not visible. Screen visible, guys now. And if you, Manish Chauhan, you can reply on the chat. I mean, which portion you didn't understand? Understood? I mean. Just show the code one by one. Screen is visible, sir. Fine, fine. Okay, okay, no issues. So uh, for this edit note part, I will just show the code once again. So okay. So what I did, I created a simple function, created a function for edit note. Okay, having two parameters. One is request, which we need for connection with our URL. Then NID, which we are taking from the URL. Okay, means from this URL which we are taking NID. I will show you the example. Now, if I click on edit, uh, you can see the URL, right? The URL is person to just ignore this thing. The URL is edit note slash, sorry, URL is edit note slash one. Means this one is passed. This one is will be getting passed to our that one will get passed to this view as a NID. After getting that NID, we are uh, retrieving the record from the database based on the NID, which is note ID, right? So syntax is the table name or the class from the, I mean, model indirectly, dot objects dot get to get a single record, followed by the column name, which is our NID, and NID, I mean NID as our value which we are getting from the URL. Okay. Now we are passing this edit underscore note, and then all nodes which we are retrieving using that dot all function to edit node.html. Okay. Now I got my answer. What I am doing wrong here. So basically, our variable name is edit underscore note.nid. What I did, I created another file having same code to load all the nodes, which is mandatory. Okay. Then here we have note added, right? So instead of note added, we will say note updated, something like that. And for form action URL, we are sending uh, the note ID which we have for which we have updated the data. Okay. So now here we have to do edit underscore note dot title, then again edit underscore note dot description. Okay. Now let's try to reload it. Click on edit. Now you can see after clicking on edit, our data got loaded in this what we can say input fields, right? If I change the data now and I will click save, then there is a chance to save that updated data. So what we can do, we will come to our this edit node function. Okay. Now to save the data, what I will do, I will just if I will do if again request dot method is exact equals to post. If request dot method is exact equals to post, then in that situation, again I want to take that data as title, which is updated title. Again, I'm just gonna copy this thing from the add note to here. But there is some kind of twist now. Okay, now instead of doing this, I will create one variable called uh, let's say update note. Okay, again notes table checks dot get. Actually, we have already using this, right? So there is no need to create this one. Okay, so now we can do edit note dot title equals to our new title which you are receiving from the form. Then again edit note dot description equals to the description which you are receiving, and after that all things we need to call our save function. Let's try to execute. Okay. It is my note, right? Click on edit. The data is loaded in our simple form. I will just change this to updated updated data, something like that. And just here also something like updated. And let's try to save this. Now you can see our data is successfully deleted. I mean, our note is successfully got updated. Even if I go on my main page, right? You can see the data is updated. Even on this table entry, you can see this is updated data. This is how you can update a particular thing. Okay, this was for edit note, right? We can do same thing for the delete. Again, I will just paste this. Okay, now I can directly call the delete function. And if you're wondering why our alert did not got popped up, which was this alert, I mean this alert, it is because of we did not pass any kind of status to that HTML file. That's why. So let's update this. So instead of note added, I will say note updated, something like that. You success, poor English. You have successfully updated a note and success. Fine. Now on the view section, where I am rendering this page, what I will do, I will send, okay, just copy this, paste here, and with all the data, I also want to send a status colon, which is true. Cool. Now let's try to edit our note. Refresh. Let's edit another note. Text 2, text description 2. Save. Now you can see we got our little, not little, we got our pop-up note updated. You have successfully updated a note. Okay, cool. And yeah, we got our note updated. Okay, let's implement delete functionality now. For delete, we have already implemented delete. Again, what I will do, I will just paste this in here to return, and again I will write a if method, if block, I mean that if my request dot method is, in that case I guess there is no post method. I can also do this. Okay, so instead of passing to the edit node, I can also use index.html. I need to load all the nodes again. So okay, this variable. So instead of edit node, we will remove this. We will pass status true. Uh, do one small change, guys. Instead of passing status, we can also pass uh, values for this title and text icons. I mean title, text, and icon. Uh, but okay, it's fine. I don't want to extend this session anymore. I will directly jump on the issues and confusions you guys have. Let's run this first. Okay. Status. There is no need of status true. Let's remove. Let's try if our delete functionality is working or not. Okay, fine. So I want to delete this test description. I will just click on delete, and you can see node got deleted. Okay, let's delete this one, my node. Click on delete. You can see our nodes are getting successfully deleted. It's not only on visual side. If you check for the database, you can see there are no nodes which we have deleted from this interface. And if you guys want this code, I will just quickly compress this. Okay, I will share after the QA. सर आपका वॉइस नहीं आ रहा है अभी क्या करूँ यार नेटवर्क इशू I'm at my home. I don't have any particular Wi-Fi. That's why. Any issues कोड रिलेटेड या फिर कोई भी पोर्शन मैं फटाफट से समझा दूंगा. You will get the code with the certificate. We will share the common zip for certificate and code. Can you show me the code edit HTML part? Yeah, sure. Wait a second. Is it visible? Let me do a thing. Okay. Migration and DB connect, please explain. Okay, okay, fine. So, currently, we are not connecting any external database to this Django application. We are using the default one, which is SQLite 3 database. But if you want to connect an external database, you need to change the settings. You need to change the database settings in this settings.py file here. You need to change the engine and other configuration. But currently, it's using the SQLite 3 database. For basic application, you don't need to connect a separate MySQL and other stuff to increase the complexity. After you have done everything in like development, you can then connect a MySQL. It will work totally fine. You don't need to change any functions or any code for implementing MySQL instead of this default database. Where is a link for the code, sir? You will get the code with your certificate of CodeClause as a zip. Uh, Other questions? This is edit node HTML part. Someone was asking about it. Your voice is not clear. Uh, okay. Now am I audible properly? Okay, okay. So did you really understood what I have told up to now? Okay. Should I revise the whole thing? Means not functions, but what we have did from the start, flow itself only. What is the benefit over React or any other framework? Base channel of YouTube or any platform to learn Django completely? Uh, I cannot say a based channel, but if you want to learn Django, you can follow Code with Harry. But the problem is that guy, uh, he makes video little bit longer to explain each and every stuff, which will means for example, uh, a single concept which I can explain in Hindi basically, uh, explain to you in 5 to 10 minutes. He will take 20 to 25 minutes for explaining the simple concept. So I guess if you have more time, you can definitely follow Code with Harry. Otherwise, I guess Free Code Camp also have the video on Django. You can also check that one for quick revision. Okay, for quick revision, fine. So, firstly, what we did, we created a simple application. Sorry, let me open a terminal. Okay. So what we did, firstly, we executed a command called Django admin start project my nodes, which is used to create a main project. Okay. After creation of main project, we created uh, the application, which is my app, using command start app instead of my project. Sorry, start project. Where is that command? Stop the server and clear this thing up. Just zoom a little bit. Okay. Fine. We did a Django admin startup command. Okay. After creating a new application, we need to register or we need to include it into our settings section. I mean settings file. So we go in this inside the settings.py file in the installed application section. We added our my app. Okay. After that, we have created two different folders to manage our HTML and static content, which is one is templates and static, and we have linked again using our settings.py file. For example, to link templates in the dir section, we use base dir to get current directory path slash templates, which is our templates folder name. You can use any name. And if you want to add multiple paths, you can just give comma and do the same things again like this. Okay. After that, to connect the static files, here near the static URL, we created one variable called static files dir equals to, and again we got our base dir path and followed by the folder name for static variable, sorry, static files. Okay. Okay, so we linked both the things. After that, in my application section, we created a view to add a note. Okay, we created a view to add a note. We no, don't need this HTTP response. Okay, then we create a function for edit note, delete note, etc. We also created a URLs for that. And here in edit note and delete note URL, we are passing the NID, which is note ID via URL. Okay. Okay. Then in HTML part, we created a form having some inputs. Okay. Having name attributes and the save button. During whenever you are working with forms in Django, you need to add CSRF as a part of security to your form itself. Okay, now in the form, you need to specify the URL which you want to go after clicking on the submit button or the button having type submit. Okay, then to load the data to get the data from the Django, what we have did, we have just sent our dictionaries to this using this render function to our HTML file. Then we have loaded using simple for loop in HTML. Basically, this is this thing we can call the templating. Okay, so we are using some Django templates in this HTML. Okay, so for any nodes, which is our dictionary, we are getting single record one by one, and we are just printing here using double curly brace. Again, whenever you want to access data sent from the Django to the HTML, you need to use double curly braces as a part of syntax, followed by the value, or we can say dictionary uh, key name. Then to send the data via URL, you need to again write a URL like this using the syntax of URL, followed by the variable name which you want to use on the views. Like for example, in views, I want to use variable as a NID. That's why here I am using NID, and again in URLs, I am using NID. Fine. You need same name. Mm, okay, so this is how we are. Means after clicking on this edit link, this ANID get passed to the view of this edit note. For delete is it is also same. Then we have connected jQuery and these simple sweet alerts for adding some scripts to our. I mean, adding some uh, what we can say visuals to our application. Huh. Here, what we did, we just sent status. If our record is successfully updated, we just sent a status true to this HTML file, and the script will execute. That note is updated and all and all. Okay, Sir Django or Mun, which is better? Uh, Sir, Netpack is going to exhaust in few minutes. Okay, okay, we are just ending this session. Don't worry, just in few minutes. Django or Mun? Listen. I prefer Django uh, because of security, Python support. Because let's say Python has huge numbers of libraries, right? So you can, if you are working with AI stuff and AI ML thing, it's helpful for you to use Python as a backend to create a web application. Okay. Uh, Another thing is learning curve. If you tell about industry demands, industry mainly currently what I can say currently in industry React or Mern stack is like in very demands instead of Django. But popular sites like YouTube and many websites are made in Django to handle large amount of load. Even we are using Python as a backend for Django. When you use Django in production, it's so optimistic, it's so optimized that you can serve the traffic easily. I mean, serve the users or clients easily. Django in demand in IT sector. Currently, I don't think Django in that demand as React and Mern stack, but Django has a future for fresher. Listen, you cannot rely on the single technology for getting job or for future because we don't know what in upcoming few years the technology which you are currently using will get outdated and new tech will come, right? So you cannot rely on the single technology. Just learn how to create an web application as a skill, I can say. So you have more knowledge about how web application works, what is APIs and all stuff. The data is over. Okay, no issues. Wait, guys, let me share my LinkedIn first so you can connect with me.